Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's reading vlog. So I'm super hyped for just a lot of things happening this week. First off, let's start with what have in front of me right now. So last night I finished Ruined, which I really liked. I gave it a 4.5 and I really had to hold myself back from diving into the others in the series, but the way that I have my TBR game set up, I don't want to like rush into the next ones yet, because I may draw that book next and I can read it then, or I just need to like finish the other books on my TBR. And I only have like 3 left that need to get read, and we're not even halfway through the month. So I'm feeling really good about everything. Last night I started A Crown of Swords. I promise not to talk about this too much like last time when it took me almost over 2 months to read it, but I did start this. I'm going to be picking my way through it. I believe we're supposedly in the slog now, so we'll see. The reviews for this one aren't super great, but I know there's a few things that will happen in this one that I've been waiting for. So hopefully I won't end up doing chapter summaries for the entire book, because that would be really sad. I picked back up Soul of the Sword, which was one of my TBR game picks for one with a really evil villain. This one has this demon who is supposed to be in the sword, that his name is Haikaimono. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. I really loved The Shadow of the Fox, and I had started this one when it came out, but I ended up postponing reading it because I knew it was going to have a crazy cliffhanger, and I wanted to be able to pick up the third one right away. And I believe the third one comes out in either February or March, so it'll be out soon. So I picked it back up. I was able to slip right back into it. I've read about 60 pages of it between last night and today at my break at work. So I'm actually going to try to power through this one tonight to get it done. Then I am working on How Rory Thorne Destroyed the Multiverse. Excited to be doing that. This is a book that is supposed to be a lot of it's like set in space, but it has a lot of fairy tale retellings about it, which is kind of cool. It gives me like, what are people doing outside? They're just driving back and forth. Sorry. It gives me a lot of like Lunar Chronicle vibes in a certain aspect, because it's that like futuristic fairy tale retellings. And it started off with like a Sleeping Beauty retelling where a bunch of fairies were giving this girl gifts, and one of them is supposedly a bad fairy and she gives her a curse, but the curse is actually to just let her not be satisfied with mediocrity. So it's not really, it's supposed to be a curse because it's supposed to be hard because she's a woman, and so she is only going to have mediocre things happen. I don't know. Seems harsh, but I think that's kind of the point. And then the other thing that's killing me is that Penelope Douglas is dropping her new book, Credence, which looks super sexy and super amazing. And so she has posted it, and it's waiting to like get approved, and then I'll be able to get it on Kindle Unlimited. And I'm dying for it. It's supposed to have like an age gap in it, as well as possibly a reverse harem aspect, which I'm never like a huge fan of that. But the way it's described, I'm kind of into it. So again, it's called Credence, and it's supposed to be about this girl that her family has died. She is about to turn 18, but until she turns 18, she needs to go stay with her step uncle and his 2 sons. And so he's her uncle, but by marriage, and both him and his sons have a thing for her. It's Penelope Douglas. She doesn't shy away from taboo things, and some of hers are my favorite. Like Birthday Girl is one of my favorite books ever, one of my favorite romances ever. And then she also has books like Kill Switch, where I hated them because the character is just cruel and like horrible, and I don't appreciate it. So with her, it's hit or miss, but I also am addicted to her, so I'm going to read it, and it's supposed to drop tonight, so I'll probably end up reading that tonight. But that's kind of what the reading plans are looking for this week. I want to finish Soul of the Sword and Rory Thorne, And I'm also listening to Layer of Dreams again. I picked that back up. I want to get through that sometime soon. But then I also got some books sent to me by my friend Joe that need to be annotated, so I might start one of those too. I just don't know. So that's kind of what we got going on. I have about an hour before I need to go to my training session, so I'm going to be reading Soul of the Sword, and I'm excited to finish it. So it's going to be great. Check in with you soon. Hi, guys. I just finished reading Credence by Penelope Douglas. I only found out that she had a new book coming out last week because she's so popular. She doesn't really do like pre-orders or really let you know too far ahead of time that stuff is coming out because she knows people will like buy her stuff. Or I mean, that's like my theory about her anyway, because I literally only found out about her book because someone posted a pic of it on Instagram, and then I couldn't pre-order it or like find out hardly anything about it at all until it like dropped today. And it's on Kindle Unlimited, and I already ordered a physical copy of it. Here's like, I just have it on my Kindle. And it's pretty intense. She does pretty taboo stories a lot of the times. And this one is about this girl named Tiernan who, she's 17, almost 18. And her parents just both killed themselves. Her father was dying of cancer, and her mother and him died together in their bed. So her mother and him committed suicide to die together, and they leave her alone. And they leave her to her father's stepbrother. And he has 2 sons, and they live in the mountains of Colorado. And all 3 of them have varying interests in her. So, yeah, it has an age gap element as well as some other interesting elements that I won't spoil for you. But it was really hot and really good. And like a lot of her books, still punches you in the stomach and hurts you. It's emotional. And it's like 430 pages long. And when I read, I literally just took my time with it. Normally I would read one of these books so much faster than this, but I didn't want to rush through to get to the romance bits. Like, I really wanted to like sit with the story because I knew once it's over, you know. And there's some things about it that are uncomfortable, but it was amazing. So I highly recommend it. It was pretty epic. It was pretty good. Hi everyone, and oh my god, my car's warming up and it's so cold. We have a wind chill advisory of like -40, and it's not gonna warm up until like Saturday, which is kind of the worst, but it's okay. So reading has continued being spot on. So I finished, I don't know which day I did this on now, it's all blurring together. Tuesday I read Credence, today's Thursday. Wednesday I finished reading this book called The Hunt by, I think you say her name, Aliana. I apologize, Aliana McPherson. This was a self-published author who reached out to me and asked me to check out her book. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, and I love when that happens. I love when, it's not that I had low expectations, I just didn't think it was going to be my vibe right now. But it's this book about this deaf girl who finds out that she has something special about her when she goes to this new school, and this boy there can speak into her mind, and she can speak into his mind. And I love this. And there's so many cliches it fits, but at the same time, not cliches, tropes that it fits, but yet breaks in such unique ways. And I don't want to spoil it for you. I put up a more spoiler review on my Goodreads if you want to know more details, because it is about wolves and vampires and something else, which I won't share because I think that's kind of the spoiler, and the connection that these two have. And it's really good. Like, it's not cheesy, and it has a lot of aspects I like. Like, there's a very big family, and there's really good relationships with parents, and there isn't any like weird jealousy stuff or like weird interactions. It's just this girl kind of stumbles into this world that she didn't know anything about. And so far, everyone's been like really welcoming, and there was a huge cliffhanger at the end. And the author who had contacted me to read this one said she would send me the sequel. And so I'm waiting for her to send that, because she said she would send it today, and I might start it right away. But now I'm gonna head home. I'm gonna work from home for the rest of the day, and I'm going to film some videos because I need to film my season 4 Outlander review. I need to film my Fiery Cross review, which I have so much to say. And then I have a couple videos that I'm pre-filming for when I'm on my trip, and as well as I'm gonna do a review of Credence because I posted in my community tab and you guys seem interested in that. I have so much to say, so I'm gonna just gush about Credence and get really intense about it, which will be fun. So that is what I have planned for the rest of today. So I'll actually be wrapping this up tomorrow on Friday instead of Sunday, because I'm going to be doing a 24-hour readathon over Friday and Saturday. So that'll be a separate vlog that comes out on Thursday. So yeah, I'm super excited. I'll check back in with you tomorrow. Hi guys, like I promised, I'm here wrapping up my weekly vlog just a little bit early because I'm about to start my 24-hour readathon. We have Blizzard coming in, so it's actually kind of perfect because I have an excuse to not do a couple of things, which is nice, but also I'm nervous about getting stuck as long as I was the last time we had a blizzard. Doesn't look like that's supposed to happen, but it's also 3 of my friends' birthday this weekend, so it'll be really sad if we all get trapped inside and can't do anything together. That would be a total bummer. But yeah, well, I continued with another week of just like plowing through books. Like, Januaries are really becoming a really productive month for me. I'm already at like 13 books that I'm read, and doing this 24-hour readathon will probably bump me like way up, so I'm very excited about that. But let's go over what I finished. So one of my prompts was to read a really dangerous villain, and so for that one I decided to finish reading The Soul of the Sword by Julie Kagawa. I'm really glad that I did. The ending to this was so intense. It follows quite a few like fantasy tropes that I've seen before, but there's also so much that is new with the culture that's explored. This is the second book to The Shadow of the Fox. It is based heavily in like different Asian myths and I guess a lot of things that happen in like manga and stuff like that, which I am not familiar with at all. But one of my best friends, that is her favorite form of entertainment. And when I told her about the books, like, she read them and she definitely sees that happening a lot. And she says they do a really good job with it. I really like this. The relationships progress quite a lot. There's not much I can say because of spoilers, but I am glad I finished this, even though I looked back on my Goodreads and I first started this back in June when it came out, and I just finished it in January, but it's okay. I'm glad that I had DNF'd it at the time, because now The Night of the Dragon comes out pretty soon, I think. Let me see. I can just look because I have my journal right here. Maybe it also comes out in June. Yeah, well, it comes out soon. I know, I can't remember off the top of my head, but this is really good. I gave it 4.5 stars, I believe, just because of some things being just a little too predictable. But that's okay. That happens. I still really enjoyed myself. I know I would have enjoyed it more if I read it all the way through, so that's my own fault, but what can you do? What can you do, guys? Sometimes it just happens. Okay, let's see. Then we had Tuesday, which I read Credence. Yes, I got in the self-published copy of it right away. I was only about 30% into the book, and I was like, no matter how this goes, I'm going to want to own it. So just to be supportive, I ordered it right away. I've already put in sticky notes for some of my favorite parts. I talked about this in my vlog. I've also already put up a review with non-spoilers and spoilers, so you can go ahead and click the card if you want that. I won't spend too much time on this, but it was really intense and really amazing, and I really loved it. It was emotional. I still love Birthday Girl more, but I did still give this 5 stars. I think Penelope's writing has become so amazing. Like, although I was looking for another Birthday Girl and this doesn't quite go that way, that's okay. Like, Birthday Girl is so unique to me. And I was just talking with my best friend Shauna that I've, been reading a lot of age gap in the last couple months, trying to find books that give me the same feelings that Birthday Girl did. And I think it's just special. Like, it's a special little unicorn that I haven't been able to find something that compares to it yet. But I'm always looking. And that's the fun part about being a reader, is you might not always find something that you interact with in exactly the same way, but you can still end up finding really good books along the way while looking for chasing that high, So this was great. It's free on Kindle Unlimited. You don't have to buy this. I mean, self-published books can get kind of pricey because they are never really on sale. So like this was $17, where I normally wouldn't, but I mean, that's kind of the same price as one of the other contemporaries. They're $16, but it is free on Kindle Unlimited if you have that, like a lot of her books are. Then I started, I'm regretting it already. I started Crown of Swords by Robert Jordan. I'm 62 pages in, but that's only the prologue and a little bit of the beginning of the first chapter. And I just had a really long talk with Murphy and sharing my frustrations, the frustrations we've shared through the last couple books about there being long parts of the book. And like, one of the things that's hard for me is, I get it. You have to get through the slog to get to what's great. But there's a lot of slog. Like, you're asking me to go through thousands of pages of slog to get to the good stuff. And I just don't know if you need all of that stuff to make it good. Like, if it's worth it to me. So I don't know. I, in the last book, had to rely on chapter summaries a lot to even A, know what was going on, and B, to get through it in any kind of reasonable fashion. And that book still took me almost 100 days to read, which is freaking ridiculous, okay? So, I don't know. I cracked it open. I'm not going to be putting this on any TBRs anymore. I'm just going to, when I feel inspired to read a chapter at a time, I will. Otherwise, I'm not going to be forcing myself through this one. So I'm not going to put it on any TBRs. And yeah, it makes me sad because the beginnings were really good. But I just don't care about anybody. And even the characters who kept me going in the beginning, like, they're not keeping me going anymore. And so it's just really disheartening. And I know I'm not alone. And I know there'll be people who say push through, as well as people who said I DNF'd a long time ago and all that. But it's just disappointing to me because I hear so many great things, and maybe it will take until the TV show actually starts, and then I'll get inspired again to push in to see where it goes. But for now, I'm just kind of like, I'm loving so many other things. Like, this year already, I have like 4 or 5 stars and 6 books that are above 4 or more stars. And like, to slog through a book that I know I'm looking at a 3-star, I just don't have the energy for it, right? So then I finished The Hunt, which is another Kindle Unlimited read. The author, Aliana McPherson, I'm so sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. I haven't heard it spoken out loud, but it's A-L-I-A or A-L. Anyway, here's a picture. And this story was really fun, really fun. This is about this deaf girl named Melee. Again, I don't know how to pronounce it. And she has been homeschooled her whole life, and she goes to this new town and starts school. It is a very Twilight setup, but it doesn't have the angst or the like mopiness of Twilight at all. And I like Twilight. I do. I'm really excited to do my reread of it this year. Like, I'm trying to find a good time to do it. But this one was interesting right away because she meets this man named Gearden and his friend Brianna, and she can hear Gearden's voice in her head, and she's never really heard words spoken before. And she's really freaked out about it. But he's not an arrogant jerk, I think is the thing. Like, he's a little shocked by the connection as well, but he knows that these mates exist, and that's what Melee is to him. And there are all these different creatures. There's druids and wolves and vampires, we find out. And the story just went in such fun ways. And so I gave it a 4.25, which I don't usually get that finicky. But the reason being is that I loved a lot of stuff that was set up, but I'm holding back from tipping it up to a 4.5 based on when I read the next book. And the author, she is going to be giving me an advanced copy, I believe, of the second one. I'm not holding my breath. Like, it comes out the end of January, so I'm happy to support her and buy it if she doesn't want, you know, if she ends up not sending it to me for review, because I am into the story now. But I'm just holding back because I want to see her follow through, because she set up a lot of really great things between how these creatures interact, what mates are, how like the whole family is involved in everything. And it's just very like level-headed for being about what it's about. And it has the fantasy elements, but it feels very contemporary in the way that like Twilight doesn't feel too contemporary, because you get whipped up into all this stuff, but everyone else, like, they have a society. They don't need to be like, and wolves, they're like a pack, you know, and it's a family. And I'm rambling too much, but if you're at all interested in any of those elements, I suggest you give this a try. This one's also on Kindle Unlimited, so if you have that, it was a quick read, and I was really into it. Like, it was a little hard at the beginning because I didn't know where everything was going, but then I loved it. I'm talking way too long. Let's wrap this up. So I am 277 pages into How Rory Thorne Destroyed the Multiverse. I may finish this book before I dive completely into my readathon, just because I'm kind of early for my start time, as well as this book is really good and I want to finish it. Wow, it's so good. I'm going to definitely do a dedicated review for this book because I hadn't heard of it at all, and I really want people to know about it. But it's sci-fi and fairy tale remix, and it's amazing. It's so good. I'm loving it. And then I'm in the middle of this book called Unrequited by, I don't know the author's name because it's on my Kindle, but this is an age gap, a little bit more twisted, about this girl who is a stalker, and she had like stalked her previous boyfriend, not in a you type of way, but she just was really obsessive. And then she has a fling with her professor, who is married, but his wife is leaving him, and he's in a really dark place with it. And so there is a cheating trope, which I heard about the cheating trope and I was like, no, because I don't do those. I don't find any joy in someone ruining a relationship, even if there's all of these like caveats going on, because I feel like to make cheating acceptable, you have to make one of the people like a real asshole, and then it's like, well, why are you with that person then? Instead of cheating on them, just end it. But this one, from the reviews that I saw, it made me willing to try it. And after Credence, which didn't totally give me what I wanted in that respect, I was looking for something else. So I'm reading that right now. But anyway, let's wrap this up. This vlog got super long. And yeah, keep your eye out for my 24-hour readathon vlog, which will go up either the day after this or on Thursday. I don't know yet. I'm planning some other things. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe. I put up 3 to 4 videos every week, and you can watch some more of them right now. Bye!